Today is December 9th, 2025. It is 2:39 a.m. I had a list already, but when I hop on Twitter, I saw more things to discuss. So I'm probably gonna have at least 4 or 5 videos on today's date. Hopefully I have energy to finish all of them. There's stuff about Meghan, and then we have things regarding Meghan and her dad, GB News, Daily Fair. So this might have part 1, part 2. And there's some stuff regarding Harry's security that I came across. And there's some stuff regarding Netflix. So this is about Haiti, but I've had it for a while. I just need to record them. And I plan on having a video about Haiti once a week. I think on Wednesday. What's today? Today's Tuesday. And I think I have one already scheduled. Oh, actually, I have 2 videos scheduled. Alright, so let's go on Twitter. Let's see how I do. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett is running for senator in Texas. And I just responded to it 2 minutes ago. I was like, sigh. Only if Texas sees the jewels they have, crossing my fingers, Texas sees what I see and Miss Crockett. Because Texas is always, they have some really smart people, but as a whole, we don't, let me leave that alone. It wasn't on my list. I only mentioned it because it was on the screen. Alright, this is the first tweet. When they say it was not possible, and that what the fifth in line, Harry, okay, what the fifth in line, Prince Harry, with a high security risk. Oh, so that had to do with security. Okay, let me pause. So I should put, okay, that just changed. You know what? Let me just pause and review these 4 tweets, because I have heavy security further down, all the way down here. Or maybe, you know what? I'll just bring it up. I'll just bring it up. Oh, let's redo that. Oh, yeah. Let me pause and fix that. Okay, so I had to fix some stuff. Alright, now that I got it all, I think, under control, let's get started. So I'm gonna start with this. When they say it was not possible, and that what the fifth in line, Prince Harry, with high security risk around him, was asking for was reasonable. We all knew that was not true. Who's this? Richard Jade. Was gaslit and shut down for being honest that Harry was the victim of an establishment stitch-up, but suddenly, all I'm saying is, she pointed down here. Let's see here. I think it's this. She's pointing out. Well. Pretty much that's her reaction after seeing this. Alright, 6 years, he's been asking for this risk assessment to be done. They finally accepted to do it, and it's already underway with the result to be announced next month. Harry's security team are working together with the UK Home Office and all relevant bodies to carry this out. There's a thinking face here. Mr. Incandescent will be raging. Alright, so from my last recording in terms of security, I was reading, and in the comment, one of the tweets mentioned that they have a new, who was that person that was appointed by the Prime Minister? I forgot her position. I think it's the head of the Home Office. I don't remember the title. And that person is, what's her name? Probably have something to do with this. Another topic that popped up is that, regarding the security, is that Invictus is going to the UK. And they usually have 1 year leading up to the Invictus, the actual Invictus. So in order for Harry not only to promote Invictus and welcome the participants, Harry will need security there. So maybe all of that have something to do with it. I don't know. Okay, so this is the latest thing here. Harry gun cap, U-turn, Home Office review, God ban, could pave way for King visit. When I read this on my last recording, when I was editing that particular video, I'm like, King visit? I know they put the picture of Charles, who is the king, next to the wording, but Charles is already over there. So who's visiting? It's Harry. So they're playing with word here. And to not mistaken, they made sure to put Charles' face there, to not edit that out. Alright. Do you have an archive link of the article? No, but it's free to read. However, I'm sure soon enough someone will have it. Usual. Okay, is that the same thing that I did on my last recording? I think I covered this. Alright, so the squad are bringing different situation where Harry really need the review. These are people who've been jailed, prosecuted. There was relevant information for Harry to have the security, but for some reason the UK didn't want to give it to him. Not only that,
when the Met Police confirms that.
Not only that, based on Harry's wording, which I'll be putting the video, is that Harry said they'd even inform other foreign government to not provide security for him.
There are very, very real threats that exist out there. Some that are known about, some that are being withheld. And for people in power and responsibility of decisions to know that those threats and risks exist, but to turn around and say, well, because you don't have an official role, your life doesn't actually matter anymore. Well, you can imagine how I feel about that, but you can also imagine, not even imagine, that is the most illogical argument in the history of arguments. At this point, I'm feeling very let down. It's the minority of people, especially those that read the tabloids and the press themselves. The press themselves have incited so much hatred towards myself, my wife, and even our children, that's hard to forgive. I actually couldn't believe it. I thought with all the disagreements and all of the chaos that's happening, the one thing that I could rely on is my family keeping me safe. And not only did they decide to remove my security in the UK, but they also signaled to every single government around the world not to protect us.
So why would they want that? Why would they inform another government to not provide him with security? And then let's not forget, in New York, there was that chase. The UK downplayed, but in court, I believe NYPD had provided information to let the court, the UK court, knows that yes, there was a chase that happened. It was very dangerous, and they provide the information. And out of that chase in New York, now whenever Harry and Meghan are in New York doing whatever engagement, I don't know the stipulation, but it was said that when they are in New York, they will be provided with security by NYPD, because due to safety of other people, the experience that that Harry faced during the chase, they don't want that to happen again. Okay, it's God working in disguise, but Harry and Meghan had to go, and Miss Doria was there, had to go through this in order to get that kind of security. But anyway, let's listen to this.
There is a target on Meghan and Harry and their children.
And Harry received, well, disgusting and very real. I've talked publicly for many years about the threat of extreme right-wing terrorism in this country. I've often been misquoted as taking my eye off the ball, as though I think that was the biggest threat. I've never called it the biggest threat, but it was the fastest growing. And my wonderful friend and counterpart at MI5 will tell you exactly the same thing, that when I started in CT in 2015, counterterrorism, it was about 6% of our total workload. Certainly when I left 16 months ago, it was over 20% of our workload.
But there were many serious, credible threats against Meghan, were there, emanating from the far right?
Absolutely. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you don't know what I know, you would feel under threat all of the time.
So you were convinced that there was a genuine threat to Meghan's life on on more than one occasion, on several occasions?
Absolutely. We had teams investigating it. People have been prosecuted for those threats.
All right, so pretty much it's the same thing. The squad are talking. I already saw the crying of the Rangers. Okay, let's hope the risk assessment is impartial and not fixated. Yeah, I think I put this twice, but some people are adding more to it. So you could pause your screen and read this. Let's go to the next tweet. And I think it's a video. Okay, so let's see here. They're talking about the development of heavy security. Channel 5 News, after speaking on the Prince Harry Security Review, a quick chat in the studio with royal correspondent Simon Vega about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and Thomas Markle. Alright, so let's listen.
It's a fascinating one. We'll keep an eye on. Simon's in the studio, as you can see. While all this is going on, Simon, there's also a situation that Meghan is dealing with her father at the moment, which is quite concerning, isn't it?
It's very worrying, and Meghan is estranged and has been since the wedding, really.
That, if I actually knew that was gonna talk about Harry, when I saw Harry's security, that's why I put it on the list, on the section for security. But that should have been further down, because I'll be doing a video talking about Meghan's dad. Okay, so.
From her father, Thomas Markle. He was in Mexico back then. He's moved to the Philippines, and there are reports that he's seriously ill in hospital and has had a leg amputated. Obviously very worrying for Meghan. She's not in touch with him. She's tried to get in touch with him, we understand, by email and by mobile phone, but it just hasn't worked, and there are reports that she's been ringing round various hospitals in the Philippines trying to get in touch with him to find out what's going on and how he is. So very worrying for her estranged family. And then, of course, with the Harry stories we've been reporting today, his estranged family here in the UK, there could be developments on that next month.
Okay, Simon, for the moment, thank you. Let's bring you some other headlines. And
since this is talking about Meghan's dad, I just put it on the section where I'm going to be talking about Meghan's dad, and then I will comment on it. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it as that. Okay, so let's go to the next tweet. I didn't know that's what it was about. Next tweet. I wanted to focus mostly on Harry's security. Why will Prince Harry getting security while in the UK create a viral court to Prince William and Kate if William and Kate are allegedly the most popular royal in the UK? Why do supporters of William consider Prince Harry's freedom of movement and project threat to William's reign? Alright, so this, I'm gonna be flagged for it. I have been flagged regarding this video. So I'm just playing like that. There's a music that's copyrighted anyway. Because everything that happened comes down to that grown man and his wife and security. It's the grimacing he does hanging onto those ropes that kills me. Love this. Sums the difference. My favorite video. This clearly shows the difference between Harry and Willy. There's the rolling eye. Prince Harry is really a Prince Charming. Alright, there's that. This will never not make me laugh. Sykes is back on the stuff again. Traitor. Oh, please. Trying to say Harry's the traitor. Actually, Harry promote the UK in every sense. Okay, Harry only visit a couple times a year anyway. They have some idea that he's itching to get back there and play their silly games. He's not. He wants to introduce his kids to his home country, take them to his mother's grave, and have his wife and kids support his charity work. It's behooved the royal family to allow Harry back in the UK. The rival court is here in the US, where Harry, Meghan, and their babies are extremely popular worldwide, and as long as the UK denies security, they can take 1 ounce of credit for any of them. Okay. Let's go to the next tweet. I really thought I had more things regarding security. As expected, Willy has turned Harry's security threat assessment into a full-blown me tantrum. Fragile Willy fears Harry moving freely in the UK because he knows Harry outshines him every time. This guy, he's a baggage for God. Harry gets huge win on UK security, clearing the way for a rival court to William. After years of battling and lobbying, Harry will finally get the risk assessment that could restore automatic armed police protection and allow him to rebuild a former UK base. You know, the thing that both, I think it's mostly William, but whatever these people wish on Harry, I really wish it on them. Because this guy has... William, that is, raised in a sheltered environment, but yet he wants to put his own brother in harm's way. And I'm wondering, okay, this is something I've said when Harry went to court and we find out that William had already settled with the papers about the phone hacking. And I've said that so many times, and it's just my crazy perspective. Okay, I'm not saying this is true, but the way that William is going after his brother, the only thing I can think of, if the papers have given him extra to prevent Harry from suing, since he cannot prevent Harry from suing, so they're going after his life. I don't know. When in fact both of them had the upper hand. Only Harry realized, only Harry is aware the advantage that he has against the papers. I don't think William knew that. Oh my God. All right. Did I read that? After years of battle of lobbying, Harry will finally get the risk assessment that could restore automatic and armed police protection and allow him to rebuild a former UK base. Okay, screenshot from Willy's chief minion, Tom Sykes. Okay. Prince Harry could beef up his UK operation, which will enable him to be in direct competition with his brother's court after his dream of having automatic state-funded police security in England restored move a step closer. The Home Office has told him that he will be giving a risk management assessment which could unlock 24-hour automatic taxpayer-funded security, according to a report in The Sun. When he lost a legal battle in May trying to force such an assessment, he said that the battle over his security had always been the most important of his legal cases. He vowed to keep on battling for security for himself and his family when visiting the UK and blamed an establishment stitch up for his loss. He later conceded that legal action was the wrong route to have taken. Still, he said he will continue lobbying the government for access to the Risk Management Board of the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, RAVIC, the Home Office committee responsible for security decision. It now appears that lobbying, which including writing to the Home Secretary, has paid off. The Sun reports that he was told on Friday that he will be getting RMB for the first time since he left the family. He's the son of the king and he served in the military. Everybody sees, including expert, like that video of that MI5 was saying he did need it. But for some reason, okay, I think, going back to regarding the Queen Secretary that was removed, they replaced, and then Charles put his people on the board, where Harry realized that how come some people who work in the palace is also on the on Warwick. So Harry was surprised to see the same group of people who's around his family are also on Warwick. They're not the expert of things, so it's not independent. So I think what's happening now with the new person that was appointed by the Prime Minister, probably trying to block the nonsense that going on. Okay, whoever's trying to prevent Harry to get that assessment probably just said, okay, we're just gonna do it. Alright. A successful outcome will mean Harry, Meghan, and their children will be automatically giving armed police protection, including police escort through London's traffic-clogged streets. Last time Harry was in London, he was humiliatingly late for several engagements after getting caught in traffic. It's like they're giving him more examples why he needs it. Okay, Neil Bosu, the former head of the UK. Meanwhile, okay, I stop in between. Meanwhile, the others, okay, there was something that happened recently. I didn't share it too much. I don't talk too much about the leftovers, but occasionally when I see things popped up on my timeline, I will read and then brush it along. I think it was Ford Fiesta had a tea, some event to go to, some tea time kind of thing, and they had to stop traffic for her, and some of the squaddies were saying what was so important for her to get that escort, when in fact there's Harry who was doing good things, important things in the UK. He was late because of traffic when he should have gotten that kind of protection. These people are ridiculous. Neil Bosu, the former head of the UK counter-terrorism unit, told the Telegraph he thought the Duke merit protection. Alright? All the experts are saying it. But our Harry does that anyway. Even from 5,000 miles away, Harry is authentic, funny, and relatable. The public is easily drawn to him. Willy Boy is performative and entitled. People see that as well. There's no competition. Very true. Okay, Harry can wear a baseball hat for a few minutes and upstage Prince William in full road dress and robes. That is true. Whatever's on the screen. You know, now I'm hoping Harry gets armed security and he and Meghan buy a big mansion and a private community in the UK so William will cry even more. I hear you. You never know. You never know. You never know. Alright, they are writing nonsense for outrage, forgetting the organization meeting and visit Prince Harry has to make leading up to Invictus Game. Look how many times he visited the host nation. Meeting military contestant, charities or project contestant will get involved with. Willy only cares about himself and his fragile ego. Yeah, both of them make sense. Yeah, like I was saying, the 1 year leading up to. Okay, and then the UK needs positive coverage. They haven't had positive coverage, so they're gonna do whatever they can to get that positive coverage. Okay, during that 1 year leading up to. That's what they want. And if there is red carpet for them, like what happened in Dusseldorf, the derangers and the leftovers were upset. So, plus the military community and government officials, they prefer Harry. They want that kind of connection. I think they want Harry to be doing much more. I think that's what happened. Okay? I've read other tweets where, you know, they're talking to Harry. They want him to be doing much more for them. They don't send the other one because he's embarrassed. Look, he embarrassed the country. Look, that few moments he went to South America. All the pictures that were coming out, my God, were so embarrassing. And I was like, do the photographers don't like him or something? Alright, there's the voting. Exactly 100%. He wanted to treat Harry and Meghan like the former Duke of Windsor and Wallis Simpson. They wanted to control his movement and charity work in the UK because it still exposed why the royal family is milking the taxpayers for same job that Harry's doing for free. Okay, well, Willy the Pegger, via his mouthpiece, Tom Sykes, is once again moonwalking faster than MJ, that Michael Jackson himself, trying to get some, what again, positive attributes. William, please, have several seats. Okay, Spain, reason Willy lost his marbles when Harry teams met with King Charles III. His Invictus Game necessitates security arrangement globally. Willy isn't included in that and can pull a rank. Having Invictus in the UK probably outfox men in grey suits planned for Sussex future. Could be. You know, I never thought of it that way. Because when the last two countries that were for it, it was the US and the UK. And I was against both. I was against the US definitely because we saw what. I was actually for South Korea. But now that this person's saying this, that is probably a good point of view. I was totally against it. I was like, I'm not even gonna watch. You could go back to some of my videos. I was standing firm for it. I was like, I'm not gonna highlight it. I'm not gonna do this. But now seeing this, it makes sense. Having Invictus in UK probably outfox men in grey suits planned for Sussex's future. That is true. And like I was just saying, the UK want positive coverage. They prefer Harry doing things. And I think when Harry went to Ukraine, and that it was somewhat private, and I think there were some government officials that went with him. UK government official that went to Ukraine with him. Let me search that. Let me pause and search that. Okay, I hope I asked it properly. Okay, the last time Prince Harry went to Ukraine, was their UK government went with him, or should I say was there with him? But let's see here. Yes, that's what I thought. Yes, Prince Harry recent surprise visit to Ukraine in September 2025 to support wounded veterans involved coordination with and permission from the UK government, as he confirmed he had to check with my wife Meghan and the British government to make sure it was okay before receiving an official invitation from Ukraine, with UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper also in Kiev at the same time for official aid announcement. Okay, so that was that. So Harry was like, if I'm gonna do things for you, you have to do something for me. So oh my God, the Sussex is a genius, a genius. I didn't even see that. I was like, I'm not gonna cover it, knowing that they got it. And I went and checked who were, well, obviously, it's mostly Brits that's on the board for Invictus, but I was upset that UK got it. But seeing in that perspective, it makes sense, and he's ending up having what he wants. Okay, they wanted him to go to Ukraine, and Harry was like, I have to check with my wife. I have this, I have that. But the UK does not want government official, does not want William to go, because he seems to embarrass the country even more with his, for photo app and things like that. Okay, so my answer is yes. Prince Harry went to Ukraine with UK government official. So now that Invictus is gonna be in the UK, so he's asking, look, I cannot do that 1 year leading up to, I'm gonna need security, I'm gonna need that. You're gonna have to provide it for me, and you have to do the home assessment. Okay, so it makes sense. All right, let's read what's there, and then that's it. All right, come on. How can you rival a court that doesn't exist? Has King Charles died last week? What is he briefing his minions about? The court belongs to Charles and side piece until he dies. This is really rather unseemly of desperately damn Willy. Has he no one he can borrow a brain from? On the one hand, I'm glad for our boy, yet on the other hand, I'm like, do we want security from those people? Feels medieval. Haven't we evolved from this sort of nonsense? Well, that's what exists, and we just have to work around it. When we look at what's happening in the US, the party, the government party that's in control right now are doing things left and right. But in order for us to tackle them, we have to use the books. Whatever law that's in the books, we have to go by it, so they don't use, if we try to circumnavigate around, do illegal things, so they don't use that against us to give them more power. But let's continue. This is Charles. Everyone knew that Charles had to give the thumbs up for a review to be done. What this tells me is Charles is sicker than we know. He doesn't have long to live, so he's settling Harry's security because he knows William will never allow Harry to have security. I don't know. Maybe that appointed from the Home Office probably said, yeah, he need that review, and forget the naysayers that's sitting on the board. Okay, if anyone needed confirmation that something is happening regarding Harry and the royal family, this is it. After years of fighting for a review of the decision to remove Harry's security, the government coincidentally agreed only when Harry began to mend his relationship with his father. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. I don't know. Security is the utmost importance for Prince Harry and family. Why isn't he calling off the tabloid attack dogs? I think both need to happen. If King Charles does give Prince Harry security, can Prince William withdraw it when he becomes king? Or do you think there will be a mutiny against Prince William? I don't know. I really think that review had to do with that new appointed person of, I forgot the title. Is it Home Office? That was appointed by the Prime Minister. I read it in one of the videos that I did yesterday. William can do whatever he wants, I guess. Will there be a safeguard put in place so his security can be arbitrarily stripped again? Who the hell knows? Yeah, based on what I've seen so far, there's a possibility it can be done. It could be stripped away. Look it, The Queen gave Harry and Meghan, well, Harry, Fragmore. Look what Charles did. Took it away. So anything is not permanent with these people. Will there be a safeguard put in place so his security can be arbitrarily stripped again? Who the hell knows? I suspect Tom's site will write a column about William will strip Harry of his security and title on day one of being king. Like this person said here, will there be a mutiny against Prince William? If William decided to do that when he become king, there will be a huge outcry. Okay, it's all such ugly BS. Okay, whatever is here. Yeah, I didn't want to go into it. Alright, I'm thinking Christmas with Charles, are you? Nah, I don't think so. Then again, we never know, okay? The Sussexes do their thing. The Vivek decision isn't coming until next month. Now, I'm not so sure. I was certain Charles invited them because there are no stories that have been snubbed. Unless Charles invites them, they won't get security. I think it will incredibly stupid and foolish for Charles not to invite them, but he is stupid, bad, foolish man. I'm wondering if this is part of some Invictus negotiation. I think so. I think so. I agree with that. No way Meghan could go unless Harry gets their security back. I don't think this has anything to do with Invictus. I think Charles is gravely ill. I don't know. I feel like it has something to do with Invictus. Like I just said, the government wants Harry to do some stuff for them. If you go on our Port of View service, there's a video that I put out where Harry was doing something in California for the British, what do you call it? Let me pause and go look for it. Okay, I'm on our Port of View service YouTube channel. It's this video. Prince Harry guest speaker, BABC, Los Angeles 65th anniversary Christmas. I forgot what BACA stand for. But it's something that has to do with the British. Okay, you could see the British flag, the Union flag. Okay, so Harry was there. They need him to do a couple things. But I think Harry is pretty much negotiating. Alright, go on that channel. You could subscribe. YouTube doesn't want to monetize it. So I put videos that are relevant over there for you guys to see. Alright, it's a short video. So back on this. I just wanted to show you the video. What was the thing I was trying to talk about? That the government and Invictus and things like that. I really think it has something to do with Invictus. Harry's trying to use his leverage. Okay, I think Charles is gravely ill. Perhaps Charles is helping Harry get positioned back in royal family and living in the UK because Harry is allowing him to believe that he wants to divorce Meghan. What? What the hell is this? No! Harry already said he's not going back.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family?
Can you imagine, after that kind of freedom Harry have experienced for what? How long did he left over there? 5, 6 years already? Okay? He already have experience of doing his own thing without the restriction of these people. Do you think he will go back and put himself in a cage again? I don't think so. I think now the negotiation has to do with the government. He forget his family. I think it has to do with the government because the government wants him to represent them in certain things. Because the royal family, when they do things, people laugh at them. But the government in the UK, not that I'm agreeing with the governmental kind of thing they're doing outside of the country. Okay, just like I don't agree with what's happening in the US when they go outside of the country as well. But they want to look good. And people around the world like Harry. So they prefer Harry to represent them globally. This is the thing. Harry's using his leverage. Oh, I didn't even finish it. What? Why would you even say such stupid things? Alright, let's go to the next tweet. I took too long with the next one. And I have one more after this. And I think it has to do with Lili. Archie and Lili. Okay, let's pause that. GIF. The royal family relies on their one-sided obsession with Meghan for publicity, and the Markles rely on Meghan to exist. Thomas has other children. That should have been with when I'm talking about Thomas Markle. Thomas has other children and other family members. Where are all of them? Ask yourself why he's so alone instead of trying to blame Meghan. agree the royals create global impact and contribute billions on various countries' economic and cater effect. What? Alone is worth billions. This is delusional. Please. Everything that Kate touched is like going under what is it? The closing. Think you may be the one who relies on the one-sided obsession. I've never heard the royal family utter a single word about Meghan. Okay, because they talk to the tabloid.
Much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
Alright, let's leave that alone. Next tweet. You never heard them, but they talk through the tabloid. We got one person, which is Harry, who grew up in that institution. Harry told us, alright, they will convey certain things to the tabloid, and then everything that the tabloid says is pretty much from the royal family. And then they said, what was it? We asked, whatever. I'll put the video that I have that Harry was saying that.
You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto, and it doesn't really hold.
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining. Private being done through leaks.
Through leaks. They will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and in the bottom of it, they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayed.
The press and the media. And as they say at the start of episode 1, they say so many books and shows and stories have been written about us. We wanted to have our own say. And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why
and if it comes from Kensington Palace, why are they briefing against their own grandson?
Well, okay, that's a very the idea.
Why are there never any
I think that's fascinating
about Prince William?
Alright, next tweet, and this is my last one. The speed at which Prince Harry's security risk review turned into Prince Archie and Princess Elizabeth afternoon tea with Charles is quite extraordinary. Alright, they are desperate to use the Sussex babies as next generation porn. Jenks, I was just saying the same thing, and the amputee is all about access to California residents. Wait, let them cook. I want to see how far they're willing to go to bend. SK isn't King Chuck coming to the state next year? Yeah, I'm hearing some stuff about either Charles or William coming to see what's his name, the president we have now. Yep, they have another topic to dine out on. The usual TV talk shows were pulling in punters to do the Meghan did she or did she not call hospital and the incessant call to how awful she is. I don't know how long they are going to run this. Alright, I have more things about Meghan's father and other things. So that's it. This should have been on that other video, but here it is. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so that's it. Stay tuned for more.
Tanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.